This gate is legally installed. You are in violation of the HOA covenants and you do not have access.
Oh, my riparian rights supersede your covenants.
At 4:27 a.m. on April 5, 2024, I walked down to my dock with hot coffee and got blasted by a flashlight beam. Cold lake air cut through my hoodie. A patrol car idled at the curb, lights flashing across the water, and the sharp smell of fresh asphalt from last night's paving clung to everything. A security guy in a neon vest told me to step back because I was trespassing. On my own dock. He waved a clipboard like it was a badge and pointed behind me. A brand new metal gate sat across the lake path, bolted into fresh concrete, blocking the only smooth route to my dock. Then the cop said my name like it was a warning label and told me I'd be cited next time. By sunrise, Linda, the HOA president, blasted an email about a security upgrade and warned residents not to interfere. HOA built a gate across the lake path behind my dock, then I pulled the riparian rights, and that's the whole fight in one ugly sentence. That shoreline path hugs the water, and it's how I roll my kayak and fishing cart down without slipping on rocks. Now there was a camera, a private community access sign, and a keypad that didn't care that I paid dues. It only cared that Linda had a code and I didn't. The timing was extra nasty because my dad was visiting that weekend, and he uses a cane. The flat path mattered. Linda basically built a wall between my family and the lake, then acted shocked when I didn't clap. I tried to be polite. On May 3, 2024, at 9:00 a.m., I walked into the clubhouse with my property survey folded like a peace offering. The room smelled like lemon cleaner and old carpet. Linda sat at the long table with 3 board members who stared at their pens like they were praying. I asked for the permit number, the vote record, and the code so I could reach my dock without getting ambushed at dawn. Linda smiled like she'd practiced it and said the shoreline was common area, so the HOA could do what it wanted. One neighbor mouthed sorry and stared at the floor. Another guy actually got up and left like my question was contagious. Linda said I could apply for access, like the lake was a gym membership. That's when I knew this wasn't about safety. It was about control. That meeting lit a fuse, but I kept it legal. No bolt cutters. No midnight drama. Proper channels only. I went home and built my case like a school project, neat and loud. I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. Timeline item 1 April 5 at 4:27 a.m. false trespass call. Then I added 2 more police call numbers, 5 warning emails, and 1 threat of a daily fine of $50 for unauthorized lake access. I printed the gate announcement, the security invoice line item, and the board minutes where they never even voted on shoreline changes. I also called the non-emergency line and asked what to do if someone keeps calling the cops on you to harass you. The officer told me to document everything and stay calm. I wrote that down too. On May 7, I filed a public records request with the county for the subdivision plat, shoreline easements, and any permits for gates near the water. I expected a thin packet. Instead, the file landed with 63 pages. Buried in there was the golden sentence: a recorded shoreline access easement ran behind my dock, straight through the exact spot where Linda poured concrete. There was also a note about riparian rights in plain English: if you own lakefront, you have a right to reach the water from your property, and other people can't block that access with private barriers. My hands literally shook, not from anger this time, but from relief. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't difficult. I was right, on paper, in the county's own words. So I set a trap made of emails. I politely requested a site walk at the gate on May 14, 2024, at 6:30 p.m., to clear up misunderstandings, and I copied every board member and the property manager. Then I forwarded the plat page to code enforcement and asked one simple question: can a locked gate block a recorded easement? I also called the shoreline inspector and asked about structures inside the setback near the water. No threats. No drama. Just questions and documents. That evening, the lake looked calm, but the crowd wasn't. 20 neighbors just happened to be walking, phones up like it was a premiere. Linda showed up in a white blazer and started talking about safety and outsiders. Then the county truck rolled in. The inspector stepped out with a measuring wheel and my plat page in his hand. A deputy came too, calm and bored. The inspector asked Linda for permits. She said the HOA approved it. He said the county approves it, not her, and taped a bright stop notice right on her precious gate. The deputy asked about the trespass calls, so I opened my binder and showed the dates. He looked at Linda and said, "Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted." Somebody laughed. Somebody else whispered, "She really called the cops on his dock." Linda turned the color of a tomato in the sun. By the next morning, the keypad was covered and the gate was chained open with a county tag. 2 weeks later, the whole thing was removed, concrete and all, and the HOA got fined $2,400. Linda resigned for personal reasons, which is HOA code for stop recording me. The best part was my dad taking his slow walk down the path again, smiling like the lake finally came back. Please follow for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.